Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. It's always a pleasure to be here with each of you on Humanity Healing Facebook and to be live, to be living, to be somewhat contemplating everything in our lives that we don't understand, and wondering how we're going to move through it all. Good morning, Carrie. Aloha to you, dear heart. So this morning's topic is one that was really a process this morning for me. And I like it like that. I like the fact that I don't spend hours trying to figure out what I might say on Friday mornings. That when I awaken in the morning, I do my meditations and my yoga and my Tai Chi, and then I rest. I rest and know that the information will come, and all I have to do is be open to receive it. So this morning, the first card I pulled is this beautiful card here. It's a dark clouds of interstellar dust, and interesting, the galaxy is NGC 1300. Note the number 13 because it will repeat later in their talk. And the card was called My Rich Life. And when I saw that, I hesitated. I said, well, what does that mean? And I realized there was a struggle within me. There was a struggle within me trying to rationally define in my mind what that meant. So as I usually do, I sit down to write my show notes because my human memory is not great. And then I can go back and read what I actually thought and said. It's fun being human sometimes. Most people would be bothered by that, but I find it quite humorous after 28 years of it. And so the interesting thing about this was it was about abundance. And the message on the card said, mine is an abundant life, full of variety. Source enriches my life in many ways. And in many ways, that's an understatement. But I'm fortunate enough to see that. And many people aren't or can't see that abundance or that richness in their lives, especially now as we go through what we're going through around the world. This sort of compactedness or limitedness, that we're being limited from doing things that we normally do every day of our lives and have done for our whole life. And it's hard to imagine the impact globally that is, how it's affecting people. And we all have seen stories, we've talked to other people, we share our stories with each other, and yet none of that really expresses what we're going through inside of us, because we're trying to express this through our minds to others in order to get some feedback so that we can try to be more comfortable with it. an interesting process that is really coming out of this global state of chaos I wrote this morning. What will happen next in this global state of chaos? Many of us don't want to know. Many of us want it to just go away. And it will, because we were not created to live in a global state of chaos that is playing out in the way that it is. Because out of chaos comes creation. And this is how I look at this and try to explain it to people, that in this moment of chaos, each one of us is being given an opportunity to say, what can I bring that's positive out of this? What is this inspiring me to do? Or how can I embrace this? I don't have to like it, but embrace it for what it is and say, this is how I am going to rise through this. It's not my job to stop it, but it's my job to rise through it. So we have many choices, really. The affirmations for this was, the universe responds to me. There are no limitations or boundaries. All levels of my desire are filled. I need only to adjust my will and to accept my realization of my dreams. I honor the gifts of diversity the universe has supplied me. And this is what it is. The universe supplies us with everything we need to accept realization and to do something about it. So even though everything around us is distorted and the energies around us kind of feed that distortion, we still have a power within us, because of who we are as amazing beings of light and love, to change the environment around us. We're not just action figures. We are interacting with life at all levels, from microbial level to a viral level to a global level, reaching out to the stars. And the only thing that's happened right now is that the energies have become distorted. I mean, that's really all that's happened. How we describe that distortion, or what that distortion looks like, or how it affects humanity and all life forms on the planet, that's the ripple effect. That's the ripple effect of it. So I'm getting the vision of a nuclear bomb going off. Well, the bomb is horrible, but it's the fallout afterwards that creates most of the devastation. And I look at this as that's in many ways what we're experiencing on a very small level, or not as dramatic or as horrifying, but for some who have got this virus, it is that horrifying. For those people whose families are going through this experience. We have an amazing power, though. And this is what abundance is about. When we look at the word of abundance, take that word, and I want you to look or within yourself, and how does the word abundance make you feel? So just say that word to yourself, abundance. Now say the words, I am abundance. How does that make you feel? Knowing that when we tap into abundance from our heart space rather than our mind space, it has a different energy. So when we look at abundance from the mind, we think of stuff and great amounts and all good, positive things. But when we think of it from our heart, the abundance is really from within. I have this great inner abundance. And I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what that is. I know I have it. And now I'm being asked really to explore it. Explore that inner abundance that you have. Most of our lives, we've been told otherwise. We've been told that we need this, we need that. You have to have this in order to do that. What would planet Earth look like if planet Earth had a mind and followed that kind of logic? We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. Literally, we would not be here. It would not be able to sustain us because it would not be able to sustain itself. And this is what we're going through right now. This is the amazing process of having our view of our sustainability being shut off. And it may be a lack of money, it may be a lack of health, it may be life patterns with our families that we're moving through because we're now contained with them, and maybe we didn't like them, but we didn't have to stay with them 24 hours. This is changing everything around the world. Around the world. And that field of abundance, we have the ability to change what we do, how we approach issues, how we decide simple things, just simple things first, and build up a rapport with ourselves to say, I do have some control here. Because the scariest thing for all of us is that the world is spinning out of control. The world we know it as humans is spinning out of control. So look at the positive things in your life, even if they're just very few. Look for the positive things in your life right now. And there are some. Maybe it's just getting a Facebook Live from your grandchild or something, or a moment where somebody in the market, you can see them smile, the smile in their face over their covered mask. Somebody holding the door open for you, or somebody just recognizing you and letting you cut in line. Simple, positive acts of kindness. Doesn't take a great wizard to do this. And in the meantime, we have the person driving behind us now that more people are out and about, and they're in the same old hurry. They're going to go 60 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour speed zone. And you just drive the normally way you do and just send them love. And just say, I am so sorry that you don't get it. That we're lucky and happy to be here. And all of the stuff that we think we need to do is not as important as being here. The being here is the most important thing. And from there, we set the affirmations of what will I do from that point. We reestablish value is what we're doing. We reestablish value in our hearts, and we start to value our hearts and look at the universal abundance and its ability to create varieties, its ability to have no real boundaries or limitations to contain it. It's ever moving forward, spiraling through space and what we call space and time, expanding rather than contracting. Make the universe your vision of your potential and possibilities. It's time. It's time we stopped taking everything for granted and expecting somebody else to fix it for us, and really look at the power we really have. Anita says, the feeling of gratitude comes to me when I think of the abundance I am blessed with in my life. Despite the many health issues I deal with every second of the day, I choose the abundance over the suffering. These are words from a woman who does suffer physically and emotionally because of her situation, her physicality. And yet she can write that in the side, abundance. Because when we get to that point of things being taken away from us, and this is what's happened, we got so much taken away from us that we start to see abundance in a new light. And it takes on a new meaning in our lives. Abundance can simply mean breathing, as in the case of the man who had his throat stepped on and couldn't breathe. Abundance is just being able to breathe at that level. So here we are, rewriting our story of capability to move into and forward, co-creating a new world together. And what will that look like? Will we bring in all this old stuff, the limitations, the rules, the regulations, the boundaries? They don't exist in the universe. They don't exist. There is nothing that the universe can encounter that it can't overcome. So too are each of you a universe. One verse, one single verse, where the energies will sustain you and encourage you to seek new possibilities. And if you're feeling this, bless you. And if you're not, hold this up as a window to say, there is some place that I can be other than in this feeling of containment, this feeling of separation. The next card I pulled was amazing. I said, I'm going to pull an angel card book. So I got Kimberly. This book is almost as old as I am. No, I've had this book for like 20 years. Angel Blessings from Kimberly Maroney. And the card that I pulled was amazing. It's this card, Love, from Archangel Hadrianiel, I guess you would pronounce it. And when I got that card, it stopped me. It stopped me, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing in this process. Love, What was the answer to this? Love. And in my mind, I heard the song. I heard Tina Turner singing, "What's Love Got to Do with It?" I swear to you, this was what rang through my head. I want to read the chorus to "What's Love Got to Do with It?" because it was just such a profound message as I got this card, love, and saying, what has this got to do with it? What I'm talking about. And the chorus is, what's, I won't sing it because that'll be horrible. That would be, you don't want to hear that experience. What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. What's love but a secondhand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? And this was a song of lament, really, of the pain we get from, and the suffering we get when love is refused or we're abused. And it stopped, this song, this message stopped me from writing, stopped me cold. And so I read from the Angel Blessings book, the first quote that she usually writes under the name and the angel's name. And it was a quote from Alphonse de Lamartine, a French poet. And I think he was a politician, but I'm not sure. The words are this. I wrote them on the board earlier. To love for the sake of being loved is human. But to love for the sake of loving is angelic. I'll read it again. To love for the sake of being loved is human. But to love for the sake of loving is angelic. Let those words rest in your heart. And shortly below that, Kimberly writes these words in her description. Eternal love alone satisfies the need of the soul. Eternal love alone satisfies the need of the soul. And so here in these messages and these cards, these random cards that I was guided to pull, Hadrian he's called a heart angel, and his number is 13 in the book. I don't know if it has a meaning for her, but I always interpret the number 13 as a new journey or beginning point. And that's why I said earlier when the number 13 came up, it was the galaxy was NGC 1300. Here's two random cards, the same number. If you look at them, or I look at them, it says it's all about new journeys. It's all about beginning. And this is where we are in this world right now, not buried deep under debris and decay, but we're opening our hearts to abundance and unlimitedness. I want you to focus on that. Abundance and unlimitedness. Not mine, not your next door neighbors, not the guy who thinks he's running the country. Yours. Your abundance. Your ability to be who you truly are in spite of what appears to be going on around you. And the true power of love is really what's needed right now. It's needed now to overcome the fear, the cruelty, the pain of life. which has now formed this sort of dark energy. Kimberly goes on to write in Hadrian's message, a cage around the heart with bars stronger than steel. Let's break down those bars. Let's dissolve those bars. Melt them, whatever you want to do. Use your cosmic mind to create a story of breaking out of this prison around your heart. Seek places within our hearts that feel limited or feel painful, and know that it's not ours alone to feel responsible for. We're a collective group of beings, and we can co-create our way out of this. We're not going to do it. We don't have to do it alone. We never were intended to do it alone, or we would be here alone. This is the power of unity. And so the limitations have been growing and growing and reinforced by generations of humans inflicting pain and suffering on each other for thousands of years. We go back through the history, and it's one story after another story after another story. They change weapons, they change ways they do it, but it's all the same. It's always somebody's inflicting pain or fear on somebody else in order to make them feel more powerful. And the truth is, they had the power all the time in their hearts, but they couldn't bear the pain that also went with loving. That there is a pain in loving when it's mistreated and mistrusted and misused. And so what did they do? They created weapons. They went to war. They starved each other, enslaved each other, found any number of reasons why it was okay to do that, despite what their religious teachings and spiritual teachings said to them. They kept defying it, and we still do. It's our time now to say no. To say no. To say no to this defiance, to say no to this pain and suffering, and to welcome the abundance. So I'm at the end of my half hour, loving all of you, loving sharing my stories with you, my messages. They're not mine particularly, as you can see. They come to me. I'm just a messenger, an angel, an earth angel. This is Riverman. This angel was given to me with the name Riverman by the woman who made these and had been making earth angels for a long time and was waiting for one, she said, to appear. And she claims I was it. And I've honored that for 28, 27 years, 25 years, whatever it's been. And as the river man I am, the waters that flow me, I want to read something to you to help you continue on your flow as I close. And these are words from my heart, not from anyone else. May each of us today tap into the preciousness which flows from our hearts. Allowing it to seek those suffering. It cannot be hidden any longer. Let us remember that the power of love is not a second-hand emotion. It's not a fairy tale or a painful drama. Limitlessness begins with a smile. As it opens the doorway of our hearts, allowing the flow of unconditional love to return to the universe abundantly. We cannot afford to stay in this cycle of destruction, wherein the creation of all life is jeopardized. And we suffer every day while pretending we're not. May the pretending be over. May each of you stand up and be seen for who your heart commands you to truly be. Let your heart be the leader. Let your mind be the follower. I love you. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And we are unity. One love. One heart. One humanity. One humanity healing. Thank you, each one of you, for your comments. And want you to just be gentle and kind as you do this. There's no rush. There's no hurry. Gently, be gentle with yourselves. Tap into that energy field of your heart. And I know there's pain there, just as there is in mine, that I'm still going through, and I'm still peeling off the Band-Aids and allowing the air and the light to heal the wounds. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it will lead you back home to the truth of who you truly are. I am complete now. I thank you very much. You're all so beautiful. It's such a joy to be here. You make my week, and I just share that with you. Joy, joy, joy. Until next Friday, or wherever we may meet on Facebook or social media. Until then, many blessings of peace, light, and love to each of you. And thank you for showing up and being here with me. And please share this. I'll put the link on my Facebook page on the small advertisement, and then eventually I will post this in my blog, and it's always right here on Humanity Healing's archives. So share the links out if this resonates with you. It's time. It's time to do this. Thank you. End live video. Maybe. One never knows. Maybe it'll never end. There we go. I think it's ending.